Hi everybody, Colin Stevenson here, joined by my other hero, Jonathan Freese. Hi Jonathan.
Hey, Colin.
Now tonight we've got a cracking video for everybody because we're going to be talking about tips for compassionate women. So compassion server women and tips on how they can live their life better. Okay. Jonathan and I love women. We love women because they're so amazing, and I don't believe that they understand themselves well enough in a lot of ways that then they're not able to live to their full potential. And I also believe that men don't understand how amazing they are as well, which stops them from living to their full potential. So if we can give any of the compassion women any tips, we're going to start with Jonathan. We'll start a discussion.
Okay, so starting with me. Well, let me start by saying this that there's there's a belief that I have that it tends to not be very common. Um, but I believe that it's intrinsic. So the people that I've shared this with, most of the time, the people that I share this with actually agree. And my belief, Colin, is that women are actually smarter than men.
I believe that 100%,
Okay.
100%,
Okay.
100%.
So then I'm just gonna talk to you, Colin,
Yes,
and
yeah,
I'm not gonna focus on who's mad on the other
yeah,
who might be listening. Okay. So just talking to you, you know, I believe that the reason why women are smarter than men is because they have the ability to hold five thoughts in their brain. I'm not sure if this is something that you and John, is this something that you and John have talked about on the show?
yes, we have, yes, in great
Okay.
depth, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so if you guys have already talked about that, then that's been established. So what does this mean that women can have five thoughts? Is that means that they can feel five times the emotions that you and I can.
Yes,
Okay. So they can hold five thoughts. So a full thought is a stimulus, connecting fact, and associated emotion.
yeah,
So that is a
absolutely.
full thought, right?
Yeah,
So that means if women can have five stimuluses and carry those five thoughts, five full thoughts, then that means they can experience five times the thoughts as us, or five times the facts as us, and five times the emotions. So
absolutely.
when we're talking about compassion women, like you and I feel things deeply. And we're vibing people all the time. We're vibing each other. We're vibing how people feel. Now, I can't even imagine feeling that five times stronger than I already feel it.
Yeah, yeah,
Right off the bat, it's you know because I believe women can feel emotions and process facts five times the amount as a man. It means that they are so much smarter
yeah,
and have the ability to drive their brains in such a faster way that they, because of feeling that five times amount of that emotion, especially if they're compassion, then what I believe is that they can get filled with pain a lot quicker than you and I
yes,
can,
yes,
right?
absolutely.
So so when I interact with someone, and you and I have talked about having this pain meter. So I call it a pain meter or a pain sponge.
Yeah,
Now, what this sponge is, or what this pain meter is every time I interact with someone, I feel their pain. And that their pain, when they talk, they go, "Oh, Jonathan, I feel so much better after talking to you. Thank you so
you're
much."
like, oh, I
What,
can't do
right? And then,
it.
yeah, and we're sitting there going, "Oh, I'm glad you feel better." But where did that pain go? It went on to me.
Yeah,
It went on to you and I. So after having several conversations like that, we can just get filled with pain. We can
yes,
have, you know. So now imagine, having five times the capacity, or having five times the ability to feel all of that. And what can happen is that it can fill up a lot quicker with women. So one of the things that I learned how to do is empty that pain meter, or wring out that pain sponge in a safe way. And what I did is I learned how to do that. Now, we've talked about being the Incredible Hulk and how we used to, smash things when our pain meter gets full, and we just go off, and that can happen a lot with women as well. It's like the sweetest teachers that I remember in school were the ones that would just hit the roof, and it was scary. It was scary when they lost it. It's like the whole world gets flipped upside down. So they're, for the compassion women, a lot of times compassion women are educators, educators, nurses, psychologists, any profession where the main goal is to help grow someone is what's going to draw a compassion woman to that field.
Yep.
So educators and nurses, psychologists, even women who are involved with church and doing all of that, they're drawn to, emotionally help people. Counselors are oftentimes women. So these are the fields where pain is very common.
Yep.
Where people are sharing their pain. And so a compassion woman is drawn to those fields. So this is definitely a show for women who are in those fields. So with the pain that we feel and getting that out in a safe way, what I did and what I needed to learn how to do is I needed to learn how to share my pain in a way that was safe. And I wrote a speech to give. And the speech I called it the pain speech. So when I fill up with pain, when my pain meter gets full, what happens is that I know when it starts to get full, when I start to listen to music and without trying, I start crying. Or I turn on, I watch a commercial and it's kind of sappy and I start crying and I go, ooh, I can start to feel my pain meter get full. Or I'm driving in my car, right? And someone cuts me off and I start to feel that anger come out. It's like, oh, there it is. It's like my pain meter is starting to get full. So instead of hulking out, or instead of, yelling and screaming at someone, I learned how to share it. Because oftentimes what happens is that I'm used to waiting until it's too late. I share everything all at once without people being prepared. And I wring that sponge across everywhere, and water's going everywhere, and, tables are getting flipped over, and I'm saying a bunch of hurtful things because I stubbed my toe.
Yep.
And that's what it means to hulk out, where it's like this small event is equal to this much pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that is hulking out. But it's not that thing. It's not stubbing my toe. It's not the person cutting me off. It's not someone saying that to me that caused me to do that. It's all of the pain that has been building up.
Yep.
So, Colin, can I share with you the speech? Can I go through it with you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so what I've encouraged people to do, and I shared this, the first time I shared this in a big group was with these teachers called program support teachers. So what they do is they helped the teachers in their school district, and they helped the principals, and they brought resources to these teachers and principals in order for everyone to do their job. So they're kind of like a go-between a lot of people. So they carry a lot of weight, and a ton of them are women, and the majority of those program support teachers were compassion.
Right, okay.
So I shared with them about, what I needed to do in order to get my pain out the right way. And they said, will you send us this speech? So what I'm going to read to you is I'm going to read to you what I wrote to them. And so here's what I do.
So just for clarity, sorry, Jonathan, just for clarity, for any women who are watching this is just what you wrote. So it's not, they've not to write these exact words. they've just to write similar effects due to their own personal circumstances.
Absolutely. Well, that's where it's like I give a framework to set up basically being able to share. And so
Yep.
they can adjust this framework however they like. But
Certainly.
right, thank you. And what I do is I encourage someone to share this with a person that they see as the strongest. Like, who is the person that I'll say, who is the person that you want to view as the strongest? And oftentimes the women will say, well, it's my partner. It's my husband. That's who I want to share my pain with. And I say, great. Then why don't you set them up to handle it successfully? So here's how I start it. Is I would walk up. So let's say, Colin, I want to see you as the strongest person in my life. Okay? And I'm not used to sharing my pain with you. But I walk up to you and I start off by saying, Colin, I have a full pain meter. I'm carrying around a lot of pain, and if I don't share it, I feel like it's going to come out in other ways, possibly in ways I don't want.
Yep.
I want to share my pain with you, but only if you have time. Do you have some time for me to share? And so at that point, what I have is I have this little comment. If they say yes, share the rest of this message. If they don't, wait until they have time to hear you hear you share. And so then I have them say this. Okay, Colin, before I open up my pain, I want you to know the pain I'm about to share is not at you. I want to share my pain with you. I want to share it to you. So I'm possibly going to say things that are hurtful and wrong, but they're the way I feel. This will help me not carry around the pain. I want to share them as strongly as I feel them on purpose or intentionally, which is why I might get messy. I will let you know when I'm ready to hear your thoughts. By the end of what I'm about to say, I don't want to be held to my words because of the wrong and potentially hurtful things I might say. Remember, these feelings are not at you. I don't want you to feel bad. I see you as the strongest person I know, which is why I'm coming to you to share. I'm giving you the opportunity to show me you are still the strongest person I know.
Yep.
So, Colin, can I share my pain with you?
Of course.
So, if they say yes, then what I say in the speech is I want you to open up the floodgates of your pain as big as you feel it. You're not doing anyone any favors if you hold back. And if you sugarcoat the way you feel, your pain meter won't be emptied.
Yeah.
If they say no, if they say, can I share my pain with you? And they say no, then I would ask them at that point, should I find someone else to share my pain with? And then at the very end, Colin, I just say, once you get all of your pain out, because that's what you do. Once you've said all of that, then let it rip, let it fly, say everything you want to say. As hard and as scary as it might be, share it all. And once you get it all out, you're going to feel 1,000,000 pounds lighter. And with that freedom, I encourage you to affirm them. And this is one of the ways that I've seen, compassion women, like, again, fall in love with.
Can I just interrupt you there just for a second, please?
Go ahead.
What you're talking about it makes so much sense, because what happens is, we'll go back just a couple of kind of minutes ago when we were talking about how women have got the 5 thoughts and the more pain. And I see a lot of men just thinking women are psycho, right? And what happens is, because they offload or they hulk out or they do it when somebody's not expecting it, they're never going to get, because they're back, the partner or the person their back's going to go up because they'll look at it as an attack rather than welcome their pain in. So what we're actually doing here is we're asking them and preparing them to allow them to ask for it, which means that they can't fight back and their back's not going to come up. And while we do this, again, I'm just reiterating this for the people out there. So when we do this, we're then in a safe space because they're expecting it. If someone came up and gave me a sucker punch, I'm going to lie in the deck. If I expect it, I can brace myself for it. And it might hurt, but I can still stand up, you know? And this is the type of effect we want to have. So nobody punching people, please. But but what we're trying to do is allow you to get to a better place and a better space to be able to share and do it properly. So sorry, thank you for letting me jump in there. Carry on, John.
Oh no, that's great, Colin. So, that what we've seen is I've seen people, these women share that with their husbands, with their partners again, and they fall in love with them again, like brand new, because they were, like you were saying, kind of sucker punching people. And that's what I've done for years is I either don't share or I am just sucker punching people all the time. So that speech helped me learn how to be able to process it. And I literally would sit there with the paper in front of me reading it so that I could learn, because a lot of that is for me as a compassion person to learn. If I prepare someone, I'm not causing them pain.
What I'm actually going to do, sorry to, I'm interrupting again, sorry, it's just,
Go ahead.
What I'm going to do, if you don't mind, is I'm going to get you to email me the speech. I am going to put it on the bottom of the YouTube video so that women can copy and paste that and they can then print it themselves if they feel confident enough to do it, and make their lives and their partners or friend or family members' lives better as well. They can then ask. So if you don't mind, I will put that on to them and it'll allow them to share better.
Yeah, that's great. And I've heard from a lot of the husbands of the wives that I've shared the pain speech with saying, being very appreciative of it, because what she's saying is she's saying, I want to see you as the strongest person in my life. And I don't know any guy who's going to pass up on the opportunity to be the strongest person
Nope.
his partner ever. So this pain speech is setting both people up to really grow in attraction to each other. 100%. And what it does is it helps me, like if someone's sharing it with me, it helps me not just jump in and try to fix everything right away.
Absolutely. And, just while we're on this subject, it's really beautiful because, regardless of what society tells us and the differences in society and what people's beliefs are about women, they are incredible. And we did say it at the start, they're incredible beings. They can turn a house into a home. They can, all going well, they can hold children, they can bring them up, they can nurture, they can feed from their body, they can do all these things. Men are grunters, right? Men are grunters. We lift things and put things down for them to turn it into something spectacular, right? That is it. Now, when it comes to women not understanding their brain, now we've heard, and I've heard many men, and you will as well, say, I think they go to a special school or special classes and they all come together and they conspire and they do these things, right? I've heard it a million times, or maybe not a million, but a lot. Now, when we hear people talking like this, it's because they don't understand the other species, or they feel threatened in some sort of way, in my belief. Okay. Now, for women to understand that their 5 thought process, so one could be driving their car in the current journey. The other one could be taking the kids to school. The other one could have been last night's macaroni cheese that wasn't quite cheesy enough. The next one can be watching this maniac driving like an idiot in the other lane and then they're thinking about the family problems. That's them spreading themselves completely thin and not able to focus on one thought either. Okay. Now, when we talk, this is every woman. It doesn't matter their star sign, race, religion, creed. It doesn't matter. Every female has a 5 thought process, and they have to be more switched on to men because they've always got more responsibility, in my belief. So they have to be more switched on, and they have to have these thoughts. So this is almost like the class, or the first class anyway, that you and I can give them to understand why they feel more, why they think more, how they can make their own lives better and make them better for their partner or their person, their go-to. And when they really start to understand that they are their own worst enemy at times, which again, so am I, so are you. We're not saying that's just a women thing, it's a human thing. So when we realise that we're our own worst enemy, moving on to certain places, knowing that we can possibly stop it or at least make it significantly better as we move on, is a life-changing bit of information that they're getting today.
That's awesome. Yeah, one of the things that I've been thinking about is the fact that compassion people in general are drawn to, and servers, but compassion people are drawn to messes. They're drawn to emotional messes.
Yeah.
Now, what's really important to realize is for all of the compassion women who are listening to this is, there's only two options that you have in life is, do you want your partner to be your project, or do you want to work with your partner to fix the world? Because the world is the project that you're working on. Because that's really, you only have two options. Like you can either you can focus on fixing your spouse because that's really what drew you to them. They were a project. You wanted to save them. You wanted to fix them. You wanted to pull them out of a hole. And you're going to spend the rest of your marriage, the rest of that relationship doing that. And yeah, that might give you that amount of energy. Or do you want to help the world with that person? So you can either help one person if you're a compassion woman, or you can help the world. And it's really your choice in terms of how you want to do that.
Yeah. And I feel that with myself because you and I are both compassion. So we understand not in the scale of a woman, but we understand in the high scale of a man for compassion anyway, because we're literally living it right now. We understand our unique self, and we're then able to express, live, and work with that at the same time. And it's a special place to be. Understanding that your intangible drivers is for me the most important thing for any human being, and understand what makes you tick and what makes you talk and what makes you not, without having to go into star signs, personality, any of these things. It's like that behind the eyes, energetical, unseen, untouchable stuff. So compassion's a massive, massive thing for both you and I, and we feel that there's not enough out there for compassion women as well. So just to finish us off, if you can give us, is there another tip that you can give moving forward for them, for women who are compassion?
Yeah, it is, I've mentioned this before, but whoever you share with, whoever that is, whoever you give the pain speech to, the pain speech is to help you develop the person that you see as the strongest. But what's really important is to find one person that you can share with that you're not worried about how they feel. That's why a lot of compassion people, women are in counseling, are looking to talk to a therapist, is because they're not worried about how the therapist feels about their pain. So that would be
because most of the therapists will be compassion as well.
So if a compassion person can find, like, one of the people that I empty my pain to is John, who we've had on the show multiple times, and John's not compassion, and when I empty my pain to John, he's like, how do you feel? You all right? And I'm like, yeah, man, are you okay? Because I just really let you have it. And he's like, oh, I don't feel that at all. So one of the things is to find someone to help them become strong, or to find someone who's not compassion, that you're not worried about how they feel, and then prep them to share with them how you feel. So,
Yeah.
but if you sit there, if when we're sharing as compassion people, if we are worried about how the other person is going to respond, our pain meter is not going to be emptied.
No, you're not going to share. Absolutely not.
You're not going to share. So you have to either set them up or find someone who doesn't feel that pain to get it out.
Yeah.
So that would be my tips.
Love that. Thank you so much. And I hope genuinely, I hope the women that watch this video, I mean, even compassion men, even men who are compassion, this will work for them. Maybe not.
Yeah, this is what helped me. This is what helped me.
But it's going to help any compassion person. But we are directing it towards women because, you know, the people that are hurt, that hold on to all these things, you know, if you've had a bad month or you've had a bad year and it's just, you're just ready to go over the edge, release it, but don't surprise somebody with it. Don't surprise so they don't know how to react or act. Usually the retaliation that comes back from the partner is because they're off guard. It's not because they don't care. But then the compassion people think they don't care, and then that's another problem and more pain in their meter. So if we really understand that if you're prepping these people, they want to listen to it. That's why they're your partner. They're there to help you grow. And Jonathan and I, you can reach out to us either through Flowcess or on LinkedIn. We're happy for you to come and speak to us and really talk about this pain meter. I'll take it on if I've got time. I will take that call for 10 minutes and let you give it to me. But if I don't have time, you'll just need to put it in an email. So thank you, Jonathan, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care, mate.
Bye-bye.